Hey everyone, it has been a hot minute since I have seen you all. I am Danielle Tucker Shepard, broker of Always Here Properties, but more importantly, your host for Being Present in Real Estate. And welcome to season 2 of Being Present in Real Estate. Took a little bit of a break there, got glasses, hair went dark. It's kind of closer to my natural hair color. So a lot of changes have happened in real estate, which you all know. One thing that has not changed is we have to be kind to each other. We have to be present. So this season of Being Present in Real Estate, we are going to have some guest speakers. We are going to spend some time talking about what else? Real estate. We're going to talk about the market. We're going to talk a little bit more about educating our buyers and sellers. And we're going to talk about each other and talking to each other and being kind and compassionate and bringing some of that good old fashioned niceness back to us, back to our field. And of course, what's happening now? My phones are going off like crazy. Does that not happen to everyone? Your phones go nuts all the time? We're also going to talk about setting boundaries. How do we set boundaries? How do we set boundaries with our office? How do we set boundaries with our clients? We're just going to talk about a lot of different things this season as we go into season 2. So let's start it off. So there's a lot of things that have been going on in our industry as the market changes and as it changes across the country and across our great state of Texas. It's different. There are some areas that are going nuts and some that are still like crickets, cricket, cricket, cricket. So let's dive in and start talking about something that we gotta have to keep in mind. So, Danielle Shepard, your host of Being Present in Real Estate for season 2. And today, what we are going to focus on is looking past what we hear and reading between the lines. So, let's talk about that. Looking past what we hear. That's kind of a weird thing because it's not looking and it's not hearing. So, looking past what we hear. How many of us have clients who tell us stories? Everybody, right? Especially sellers. Sellers tell us things, buyers tell us things. Everybody's got a story to tell. How many of you have heard the saying, buyers are liars? I hate that saying with a passion. Why do you think that saying even got started? Well, because people haven't always told the truth. So that's where it came from. Why? Sometimes we have to look past what we hear. Sometimes we have to become this detective that, oh, sorry, my nose, we got cold in Texas today. So sometimes we have to look past what we hear and kind of figure out what's going on in somebody's life. So we'll talk about buyers first. Okay. The whole buyers are liars thing. I literally hate that saying. So this business is all about reading between the lines. It is. When you and that's a figurative language, but when you look at even a text message, sometimes it's a literal language. You have to look at what they are saying and put a why behind it, especially when they're saying something that's not quite in character. I'm going to give you an example. So here recently, an agent sent me a text message and it was from her buyers and it was off the rails. Like, we're canceling the contract, we're getting a divorce, we're breaking up, we're doing all this, we can't get what we want, blah, 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 blah. and they were selling a house and buying a new build. And there was just all this craziness in this text message. And of course, the agent's upset, because she's like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happened. I don't know what I did. I don't know. I don't know. Like, there's just so many I don't knows. And of course, what is happening? Everybody's emotions are heightened. Everyone's, the agent is like, what in the world is happening right now? The buyers and sell or the buyers slash sellers, because they're the same person, are like upset because this house that they want, they can't get without whatever, having to do stuff for the lender, because lenders ask you a gazillion things. They want, the blood of your firstborn. But it's just heightened. So what we had to do is we need to figure out, where does that emotion come from? Where does this heightened sense of emotion come from? Like, why are they so quick? You're a week away from closing. Why are you wanting to pull the plug on this purchase? Why? There's a why. There has to be a why. And you've got to read between the lines to figure that out. You cannot just take what they're saying at face value, because it doesn't make sense. No one goes through 45 or 30 days or 6 months or 2 months of buying a house and then the week before closing pulls the plug. There has to be a reason. And it's bigger than what you think it is. And they will tell you all the time, well, I've just changed my mind. No, no, that's not it. Something else has happened. Something has caused that to happen. And if they say, no, I've just changed my mind, well, I get that that's where the buyers or liars thing is coming from. Because we now have to look into what is going on. Real estate agents are problem solvers. That's one of the many hats that we wear. We're therapists, we're problem solvers, we're mathematicians, we're sometimes we fix flat tires on a car. We do everything. We're childcare, we're fundraisers. You name it, a realtor has that job. Okay. But in this instance, in these instances like this, we have to look at the why behind their reason. Now, how do we do that? Okay. How do we do that? How do we figure out someone's why? For one, we should hope that we have built a good rapport with our clients. A good rapport is not just about getting to know someone. A good rapport is also about building trust. We need them to trust us. When you go to an attorney, you tell them things because you trust them. You tell them you murdered someone because you trust them. When you go to the doctor, you tell them things because you trust them. We, as real estate agents, as realtors, need to build that trust into our relationship, because when things get crazy, we need them to tell us the truth. And clients are not going to tell us the truth unless they trust us. So in season 1, I talked about building relationships and that being the key component. And if you missed season 1, go back and listen to season 1, watch season 1 on YouTube. Go back and look at it. Because that is the key. Building that rapport and building trust is the key to establishing yourself as a great agent. There's lots of good ones, but we don't want to be good. We want to be great. You have to build rapport. You have to have that trust. Once you have the trust of your clients, they will tell you things. Now, by no means do I claim to be perfect, but you need to know some of the answers to these questions. So when they send you these text messages that they are like panicked, you need to be able to ask them the questions of why. Why are we a week away from closing and you now want to cancel this contract? When I was teaching when I was teaching school, they told us that there really are only two emotions in life. Happiness, yay, and fear. And I was like, whatever. Fear? No, because there's like anger and sadness and all this kind of stuff. And then they said, we need you to think about it. They made us do this whole exercise about where does your anger come from? And a lot of times our anger is built out of fear, fear of failure, fear of disappointment, fear of the unknown, fear of not being good enough, fear of not being able to make it, um, fear of someone not treating us the right way. We get angry. Then our sadness comes from fear of being without someone, fear of missing out, fear of regret. So they always said everything came from just those two emotions. And when I figured that out, that opened up a whole new world to me. Because now I go back and look at anytime someone sends me one of those crazy kind of messages, I want to figure out what has happened that they're afraid of. And then I have to counteract it as what are you going to miss out on? So, of course, I gave the agent advice. I don't really know what happened. Maybe I should follow up on that. But for these buyers, and I kept saying there's got to be more to this story. There's got to be more to the story. I kept saying that. There's more to this story. There's context. These glasses things are new. So there's got to be more to this story. You have to question. You have to open end questions. Don't just ask, are you okay? Yes. No. Open end questions. What's going on? What has happened that is causing you to want to do this? Something has happened. You were so excited about this house. We've got your other house. What has happened? What can we do to fix it? Sometimes it's not fixable. And sometimes the right thing is to walk away from a house. And it's okay. Because I guarantee you're going to have a client for life if you don't force them to buy a house. And it's okay to walk away. And sometimes they need to understand that everything's based in fear. So, this business is all about reading between the lines, knowing that there is always more to the story, and figuring out how to be a detective. Now, the detective work is kind of fun because sometimes you have to be a detective to come to the truth. So, here recently, I had a seller who every time I turned around, there was more to the story. And here I had this person who I thought I had a great rapport with, and I thought that everything was fine. And then we would literally, every time I turn around, there was something more to the story. And I can't go into specifics exactly because I know that seller has watched my podcast. But even so much as the day of closing or the couple of days before closing, something else came up that I didn't know about. And it was going to hold up closing because it was something else that was held back. And I'm like, why are you not telling me the whole story? I can't do my job if I don't know everything. Like, you're making my job. Because, like I said, we are problem solvers. I can't fix it if I don't know about it. Well, part of that, when you get the feeling that a buyer or seller is shady, bring out your detective. Become the detective. Because if you think something is off, something is off. Read between the lines. Because it's not always about there's more to the story. I mean, there is. No, wait. I'll go back. It is always there's more to the story. Okay? It is always there's more to the story. But it is not always an emotional piece to the story. Sometimes it's things that they don't want you to find out, that they're trying to do something shady. And you investigating and figuring out the more to the story will keep you as a realtor out of legal trouble, but may not make it easy for the sale. Things to always keep in mind, no matter who you're dealing with, buyers or sellers. Always keep your patience. I know it's hard sometimes. Always keep your patience. Always be kind. Always be compassionate. Try to put yourself in their shoes sometimes. But most importantly, always be kind. Read between the lines the next time you get one of those messages and try to figure out the why of what they're saying. Why are they saying these things? So, episode 1 of season 2 in the books. I know it's a short one. I always start short, but I thank you so much for tuning in, for being present in real estate, and we've got a lot of great stuff coming for you. Take you through the winter months and so we can be refreshed and ready to go for our spring selling season. So stay tuned. We'll come back every week for another episode of Being Kind or Being Present in Real Estate and talk about all the things real estate that we need to do to be professionals in our marketplace. And just remember, this is a great career. It's a great business. And being kind to your fellow realtors is much needed, especially now when the market's changing. So, you guys take care. Have a great week. Look forward to hearing back from you. Stay in contact. And just a plug, Agent Etiquette series is well in play. If you have an association or an office who wants me to bring the Agent Etiquette series to you, please don't hesitate to reach out and contact me. Agent Etiquette 101 and Agent Etiquette 202, which is a contract series. Give me a holler. I'd love to teach those classes. These are for Texas real estate CE credit. So let me know and we can set something up. We get rave reviews. It's an interactive course, very hands-on, very discussion-based, and based on the principles of being present in real estate and being kind. It's all about being kind, guys. So, y'all have a great week. Talk to you soon. Take care.